Ahead on DC News Now at 4, federal law enforcement in the streets of the district.
The more we can do to protect citizens, the better.
It's just Trump's need to have to actually, grab something else.
The changes people can expect over the next 7 days.
Our streak will continue as comfortable temperatures hang around for the start of the weekend. We'll let you know, though, when it will start to heat back up.
Ousted D.C. Council member Trayon White returns to his Ward 8 council seat. The latest on his swearing-in ceremony.
Football is back. The Washington Commanders playing in their first preseason game tonight against the New England Patriots. Sports Director Derek Forrest has more.
It's a little bug that can cause big problems. How to protect yourself from Lyme disease.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And thank you for joining us for DC News Now on a Friday. Happy Friday, I'm Mark Hall.
Happy Friday, I'm Tosin Fakile.
Oh, there's an increased federal law enforcement presence across DC today.
And it comes days after President Trump threatened again to take over DC. This comes after a former DOJ staffer was attacked at Logan Circle. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg joins us live at Union Station.
And Daniel, that's one of the major hubs where increased Amtrak police presence is in place.
And Mark and Tosin, the White House says that this increased federal presence will be felt for at least the next week here. It's all part of President Trump's plan to make D.C. safe again. Some of the agencies participating include the U.S. Park Police, the U.S. Capitol Police, Homeland Security, the Federal Protective Service, DEA, ATF, U.S. Marshals, and the U.S. Attorney's Office for D.C. Trump has said he wants to see teenagers charged as adults after two 15-year-olds were arrested in connection with the beating of that former DOJ employee. Trump says D.C. is weak on crime. The data from D.C. police, however, shows the district is experiencing a 30-year low in crime. Violent crime down 26%, with a 35% drop overall. Many people who live here say the federal presence is unnecessary, but some tourists appreciate it.
I don't see a big problem with crime in the city as opposed to any other big city. I think if you look at the stats, actually, violent crime in the city has actually gone down. But, it's just Trump's need to have to actually, grab something else.
It's very important that people get it because they don't feel safe walking from restaurants, going to their cars and so forth. So I think it's a great idea. The more we can do to protect the citizens, the better.
Meanwhile, local elected officials continue pushing for more judges in D.C. to help the criminal cases that are already in the system actually go to court so these cases can actually be tried and settled. Now, the White House says, again, this increased federal police presence, which started at midnight, will go on for 7 days. We're live in Northeast. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
All right, Daniel, we'll have to see how these next few days go. Thank you for that report. And the fallout continues in the district as federal officials continue to look for ways to crack down on crime in the city. Now, Republican Florida Congressman Byron Donalds reintroduced the 2024 D.C. Crimes Act, the bill that would grant congressional control over D.C. sentencing policies. It would also amend the D.C. Home Rule Act, preventing council from making further amendments to sentencing laws.
All right, on this Friday, let's head over to meteorologist Damon Madsen with the first look at our forecast.
And Damon, we are stepping into this weekend. A lot of people excited.
We made it a perfect 5 for 5 this week,
Can you
guys.
imagine that?
What a start to August it's been, and we are loving it. And yeah, going right into the weekend with these comfortable weather conditions still on tap, you couldn't ask for much more out of Mother Nature. Now, of course, eventually, yes, this will come to an end, but let's not think about that quite yet. How about these current temperatures for a Friday afternoon in early to mid-August? 83. It is comfortable indeed across the district, and we have upper 70s to lower 80s all the way across the entire DMV. And not only are our temperatures at a very comfortable level, the dew point numbers are as well. They actually took a small step back from where we were at yesterday with those humidity levels. Not that it was excessively humid on Thursday either. So it just goes to show how truly amazingly comfortable it is across the entire region. And we will just keep that going. And the little bit of cloud cover and haze we may have had at times in the sky this afternoon, all of that starts to clear up even more as we head into the overnight hours. So just a clear and pleasant Friday night is ahead of us, and that will roll into the start of the weekend. Now, are we needing to be prepared for that heat and humidity to start ramping up as we go throughout the weekend, or will we just wait on that until next week? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damien, thank you. Death investigation underway in Alexandria after FBI agents tried to carry out an arrest warrant this morning. Agents say that they were carrying out that warrant along King Street around 6 this morning. The person that they were looking for jumped from a 15-floor balcony of an apartment building. Agents tried to perform life-saving measures, but that person died at the scene. It's not clear what the warrant was for. A special agent in charge shared more details on scene.
The arrest warrant remains sealed at this time, and we'll get you more information when we can.
The Alexandria Police Department is overseeing the investigation.
Take a look at this video on your screen. Montgomery County Police looking for this suspect. They say the person stole clothes and stuffed them in a bag at the Macy's in Wheaton on Veers Mill Road. Investigators say a loss prevention worker tried to stop the suspect as they walked out, but police say he was holding a knife and then ran away. Anyone with information is asked to contact police.
Well, Boris had plans to reopen its Virginia plant in the coming months, the same facility linked to last year's deadly listeria outbreak. New documents obtained by the Associated Press show that recent sanitation issues, including meat residue on equipment, clogged drains, and employees with hygiene issues. New inspection documents are from January of 2025 through July. The company declined to comment, but says it's working with the Department of Agriculture to reopen.
On the move today, Amtrak's next Gen Acela is coming to D.C. They call it America's high-speed train. It'll have more trains, seats, and service. Those trains roll out August 28th.
In the district, D.C. Council has a new member. Ward 8's Trayon White officially back in his old seat after swearing in this afternoon in Southeast. White was expelled by council earlier this year after he was indicted by the FBI. He was accused of accepting cash in exchange for influence on city contracts. In a speech following the swearing in, White said that he believes the FBI is after him and wants to kill him. He also discussed what he wants out of the RFK Stadium deal and the federal police presence dispatched into the city last night.
I saw the story last night about the federal police districts being dispatched throughout D.C. All I thought about was the children that may be out, that may or may not have a cell phone to call their parents, that they don't know what's going to happen with them.
Now, we'll have much more coming up from Trayon White. That's ahead in a live report at 4:30.
A heads up for Metro riders on the Green Line. Track work this weekend will impact your commute. DC News Now's Randy Bass has what you should know.
Happening this weekend, construction closures along Metro's Green Line. There will be no Green Line service this weekend or next weekend at Congress Heights, Southern Avenue, Naylor Road, Suitland, and Branch Avenue stations, all closed. Service picks back up again at Anacostia. Metro says free local and express shuttle buses replace trains between Anacostia and Branch Avenue. Express shuttles will stop at Anacostia, Southern Ave, and Branch Ave. Local shuttles will stop at each of the closed stations. But what exactly are they doing during this weekend construction work? Metro says crews are upgrading cables for communication and train control systems and replacing rails and pads for smoother rides. Customers can also expect lighting upgrades along the platform's edge and better lighting throughout stations for improved visibility. Now, several of these Green Line stations are affected through the end of the month. All other Metro lines are running as usual this weekend. No other construction impacts to your commute or your weekend plans. In the studio, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Bass, thank you. Crews continue to make progress on the demolition at RFK Stadium today. Over the last month, more activity has been seen around the area. Smoot Construction is leading the demo project, and you can see the roof has been dismantled. It comes as D.C. Council made the first vote of approval to help bring the Washington Commanders back home.
Well, it's only right. It's kind of been feeling a little like football weather, so let's talk football. It is game day for the Washington Commanders as they kick off their preseason tonight in Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Well, the team has certainly been preparing to face the New England Patriots all week long, with both teams taking part in a joint practice on Wednesday.
And Sports Director Derek Forrest joining us in studio. Derek, this is a great chance for the backups to get some playing experience. What I want to know and what everybody wants to know, will Jaden Daniel take the field today?
Well, you kind of just answered your own question. The answer is no to Jaden Daniels getting the start or playing today because they are going to give that time to the backups. And it looks like Sam Hartman, the former quarterback for Notre Dame, is going to be the starting quarterback for the Commanders in this one. Now, the preseason around the NFL is the time where the young guys can pick their spots and shine. Now, if you've been in the league a few years, typically your job is safe, like Jaden Daniels. But the young guys are in search of a job, and it's not always with the current team they're playing for. Coaches and scouts are always watching everything. So if there isn't room on the Commanders roster, there's always a chance you could land on another team's roster. So being on top of your game for every snap is so important, but it's also important for these guys to stay calm and focused on what got them here.
Sometimes over trying can be the worst thing. And so, man, like, stay in that pocket of the training you've been doing and then, you know, let it rip here. That way you don't feel that tightness to go and I have to do this or I have to do that. Man, you got to be yourself, fully turned up, and like that'll be plenty. So that's the message that we share. But man, stay right in that pocket of the things that we've seen.
So I'm assuming we are going to see some starters play today, but this is all about the youngsters. This game is going to kick off at 7:30 up in New England, and there are going to be a lot of guys fighting for jobs. We saw it last night in the Ravens game. There was a punt return kicker. He goes 87 yards for a score. He's a rookie. He probably solidified a job with that performance. That's what it's all about tonight.
I promised Tosin I wasn't going to ask you a question about number 17, but I didn't promise you. Any progress with that, with the Terry McLaurin contract talk?
Yeah, to my knowledge, no update yet at this point. The last we heard was Terry McLaurin had requested a trade. That's where we sit right now. He's currently still holding in at the team facility, so he doesn't get fined the $50,000 a day. But yeah, no word on the Terry contract talks as of right now.
All right, Derek.
Interesting start to the season for the Commanders.
I remember I promised you, not Derek.
Okay, all right, cool.
Derek, thank you.
All right, still ahead on DC News Now. Sleeping outside in Hagerstown, it could now cost you or even land you in jail. Why some say the new ordinance goes too far.
Plus the rides, the food, and the fun. The Montgomery County Fair is back and in full swing. We take you there for a look at what's going on.
And tax-free weekend is back, this time in Maryland. The items you can save on and when we're stretching your dollar.
You're watching DC News Now, covering the news where you live all across the DMV.
We're back with more news and a chunk of this lovely weather after the break.